Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting topic, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about new version for teachers in education. In the dynamic landscape of education, teachers serve as the guiding stars shaping the future of generations to come. Today, we will discuss and explore a transformation vision that redefines the role of teachers in our rapidly evolving world. So, really, very interesting topic, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from this session because we have an expert with us in today's this session. So, stay tuned because an amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So, before we start, I would like to thank Kalwas for arranging such enlightenment sessions for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Kalwas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, and suggestions, which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually, as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have amazing person as guest. She is a versatile person with amazing great qualities, having a vast experience and exposure. She is internationally known and recognized speaker, and we always see her while contributing to the world and on different platforms. So her affiliation is from the Belgrade Metropolitan University, Belgrade, Republic of Serbia. Her education in 1992, she got a PhD degree from the Faculty of Agriculture, University of Novi Sad, Republic of Serbia. In 1988, she got MSc degree from the Faculty of Agriculture from the same university. And in 1975, she graduated at Faculty of University of Science with the major in the group of biology. In 1971, she graduated University of Sarajevo Department of for Chemistry. Along with that, her research and professional experience, she is academician and full professor at the university, advisor to the president of the Metropolitan University in Belgrade in 2021, and the director of the Mianu Institute in the Belgrade 2018, mentors committee member of 60 doctoral dissertation, mentor of 110 masters these, and a member of the numerous committees and mentor of 780 graduates of the final thesis in basic academic studies, member of numerous committees of defended graduate and final thesis in professional and basic academic studies at several higher education institutes in the Republic of Serbia. Along with that, throughout her career, she devoted her to the development of young people in science and universities, author and co-author of 625 scientific papers, four monographs, one scientific book, two genetic textbooks, numerous scientific studies reports, and paper on the SCI listed and projects, national as well as in international. Along with that, the work of her has been cited in numerous scientific bases in the world. She participated with the papers in numerous international and national congresses, symposium, conferences, working groups, as many as member of the organizational and program committee by invitation for plenary and introductory lectures, or as chairman in the European Union countries, Morocco, Canada, etc. In addition to that, she is the winner of numerous international and national awards and recognition for science's contribution to the development of higher education at national and international level. With her dedication, she participated in the development of professionalism in the field of science, higher education, building a career with the young scientists from the region and the world. Last but not the least, she is a wonderful speaker, author, teacher, researcher, a professional, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming our guest, Professor Dr. Jelena Boskovic. Welcome to the Carlos platform, and thank you very much for joining us, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my colleague, Professor. Haider. Thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, good evening, dear ladies and gentlemen, eminent scientists, university professors, guests of honor, dear students, and all participants on this extremely important webinar. I owe a special thanks for the invitation to be guest speaker, and I must send my warm greeting to organize this Amazon virtual for the international webinar of new vision for teacher in education from Dr. Said Belai and Professor Dr. Haider Shah, PhD, and the whole team. My team today challenging the education for the development of skills in the 21st century. My please presentation, Professor. My please presentation.
Yes, Prof. Let me just share the screen with that, and so that the audience could see the slides, please. Yes, Prof. Are you able to
Yes.
see it, Prof?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yes, Prof. Yeah.
Only change is constant in participate in a project team in the preparation of models of key competence and skills for the 21st century in European Union project. You will follow the presentation as a long-term career scientist and university professor only explain the scientific results from the presentation. I'll never read the presentation, but have a discussion that will follow the important field in the 21st century. I will start my lecture with an important statement. There my efforts by university teachers and associates today to improve their teaching work based talking about the recommendation provided by rhetoric as a science. Rhetoric is development from enhancement time in the present day and again in many universities in the world. Rhetorical theory and practice are being nature and the magic word public speaking is being used. Teacher and colleagues at the university start from the knowledge that their work student already the first meeting rests an equal position in teaching. It starts from the teacher is the one to who know a student is and who doesn't know, and that their work should lead to a change that today is often tried it behind the expression learning or teaching outcomes and how the student view it. They are an audience in rhetoric, a special audience student in World University. In classes, it's not possible to avoid monologues, literature, speakers by university professors and associates, regardless of all new means and methods provided by technological progress. It is this teaching method, the oral presentation of some professor and assistant, that the most criticized while were and are most prized by the students. Even the for the case board and university level, this in the possible methods of teaching work has been under missing. It's what is required in university education can be achieved by means other than speech, however expressed by success and failure of online classes recently, and then in virtual rhetorical performance. We must be guided by the principle of rhetoric. I'm sorry. It's not easy to give lecture, to speak in front of audience, to speak in public. Just is it not easy for student to speak in exam. In the 21st century, higher education, as well in the sector in general, face many challenges related achievement, a balance between response to initial change. Their problem are future exacerbate the necessary to survival, national needs as well to be well clear who can meet global needs. Government initiative to reform higher education systems focus on transforming institutions to meet national needs and make their nation competitive in a global world. In contrast, most institutions focus their transformation on survival and competition with institutions in the sector as well of outside the sector. Meeting national need has been relatively easy to achieve because the institutions were set up the requirement in mind. What remains a challenge. It is to redefine higher education and role in a globalized world in which global changes need global solution. Institutional initiative to address global problem, however limited, are to go their contribution to sustainable development to be global development agenda are to go their contribution to sustainable development at a global level has been integrated. There is need for a new type of institution that will take global issue and focus an agenda for human and social development. Whether education should prepare today children and youth to the life and work in the society of the future is a fact on which we all in principle agree as teach them, communicate and live with them. We want to see them in a decade or two as successful people in their professional, social, and career lives. However, what is and should be that preparation for life in a world where exchange are fast and hard to predict. The questions have ambiguous answers and lot of dilemmas. Young people today live in new scientific and technological environment, often insufficiently know to their parents. They live surrounded by constant social and economic change, but also numerous risks for healthy growth and development if we also take into account the fact that young people today, more often any generation before then, The new reality, 20th century, has changed the goal and quality education worldwide. Deep understanding and acquisition of lasting knowledge is a necessary but insufficient condition for academic and personal realization. Successful socialization requires critical thinking, teamwork, resource management. Young people should not only be competent, but also consensus, effective individuals who can overcome difficult and support development of society. The theme of this lecture is to follow the challenge in the field of education in the new century and look for answer the question how a teacher can become really successful and the student more motivated. The implementation of this task, an overview of current work and development on the issue, personal observation and practice conducted in face-to-face and distance learning, lecture with trainer and train. In the modern dynamic and transforming world where change in information and communication technology, much communication technology, are talking place at such a rapid pace. The future is now today and not tomorrow. It's extremely important for young people to see the relevance of what they are learning. The focus of training is shift and out and how the student learn become of paramount importance. The new direction and ideas of time do not include the teachers leading and define role in the learning processes, but certainly give a more active and central role in the learner and impose new approach and method of teaching in the world. Digital skills and literacy become mandatory and information technologies an integral part everyday life as well as the professional and pedagogical competence of the trainer. The teacher in the new century must be adaptive and constructive, constantly improving his or her qualification, seeking solution and solving problem. His or new role is facilitator. One's main task is the development learning skills, ability for planning, conceptualization, and management on the learning process and consulting skills in order to build a calm and protected education environment. In the new role is the facilitator. Facilitator is big. In the new era, 20th century fast, the most successful are those teachers who work for the personal development their student and then build care, social and emotional competence. The successful lecturer concentrates on these competence and provides for practices the learning process. They provoke the development of each of the specified skills, taking into account the challenges of the information society and the globalization of modern time. The successful teacher adapted the teaching model to changing learning pattern and enriched them. It is precisely in the synchrony and balance between the new and flexible form of learning. The trainer is mentor, professor is mentor, teacher, and the learner is so-called digital generation, where the effectiveness of the education process is found nowadays. Digital technology for teaching practice student mean the ability of student teachers use digital artifact as integral part their pedagogical content knowledge. Student teacher need to be aware of what implication this has for teaching and learning strategy. Plus, by building accept the lesson presentation, a new approach to teaching practice calibrated for the 20th century require teacher to be willing to assist the student teachers in this regard. The proposed study aims to prepare teaching practice students for the classroom on the future. Therefore, the presenter agreed that the teaching practice students should be improved in fast-paced digital environment in current millennium generation or Z generation student. This is a key aspect of learning digital with consecutive learning theory. The empirical research has been conducted in an interactive, qualitative paradigm underpointed by complexity theory conceptual framework. Convenience sampling has been used on this study. One teacher from each of the three secondary schools in Göttingen has been selected to participate in Europe. The study challenged the participant teacher to reflect on their teaching praxis when use digital technology is integrated part their pedagogical content knowledge. Pedagogical is very important for teacher and university professors. One of the outputs of this research study a model for teachers to use example for training the teachers practice students. This model can also be source of information for digital technology literacy education. The intention is to guide teaching practice students to develop their own program for digital technology literacy to meet the teaching demand for 21st century. The ability for our students in the world to use skills and knowledge is relevant area interest and successfully evaluate, analyze, and communicate while resolving and understanding issue as range of connects are defined as 21st century skills. The four Cs are the concept of 20th century abilities to meet the need of 21st century society. They even suggest up to 10 transversal talent. However, on this occasion, reference are mode of this provided by now as the sixth century skills, the necessity to harmonize the definition of pedagogy, technology, and the process of creating change led to definition of this approach. This ability are connected to gaining in depth learning through model pedagogy, with which enable fostering global environment in student by utilizing the potential of ICT in the classroom. This is competent character education. 2. Citizenship, communication, critical thinking, collaboration, and creative and imagination are said to be able to foster in-depth learning. True in-depth instruction that enable its application in daily life, the development on the affirmation competencies will enable preparing students for 21st century society. Currently, the anti-society in immense university system have took task relating institutional education surrounding more than 1 billion children and college students have been driven out of school as a result of COVID pandemic and epidemic COVID-19 almost ceaselessly, leading largest education technology adaptation in history moment. Schools and colleagues are rushing to revamp their classroom and curricula to make it possible for students of age to complete their coursework from home. For students, instruction and parents and the logical challenge. However, it also presents several possibilities. Rethink what learning looks in the 21st century is a very interesting century, other century humanity population. There are three key areas to improve teaching and learning in the 20th century. Fundamental knowledge is the first key area. Improved teaching. It's very significant that the various disciplines should provide core knowledge and the field to learner. Additionally, disciplines will provide multi and similar field knowledge on learner because it's a dynamic world, and single field knowledge will be enough for learners. In the second stage, meta knowledge plays a vital role for learner. Educational institution should help learner to improve creative thinking, problem solving, and collaboration. The fundamental stage will support this stage. Without core knowledge and understanding core degree program, it is not easy to attain meta skills. In the last stage, humanistic skills and development, including job, ethical responsibility, and cultural value, the learner in the 21st century. It's very important to improve such skill in this dynamic today world. Universities have been challenged by the technological society of the future to improve their education process, particularly with regard to how new technology may help teaching and learning. Assessing whether students learn better with without a certain technology is a common starting point for research on the question use of technology. The numerous role the technology has played and advancement of teaching and learning are broadly acknowledged by present research based pedagogical development trend. The first objective of the study in this area or the comprehend the implication of increasingly technological world for learning in diverse simulation. The secondary objective is to offer information, new skills, and competencies require acknowledged society. A future topic of research seeks to highlight the opportunity that technology presents for enhancement education, sitting by taking student voice into account and creative pedagogy. Recently, government, business, and educators express a strong desire to find a model of learning in the digital present while preparing students for a certain future. The phrase 20th century learning refers to behalf that fundamental change, such is learning and education, have happened in the 21st century is a result fast changing technology and globalization. Students can significantly contribute and advancement university pedagogy because technology is inevitably transforming the dominant culture of teaching and learning. Dominant culture student. The change what quality education to power dynamic must by balance. Consequently, rather being set procedure, pedagogical leadership is dialectic one. The conversation between professors and student is necessary for the development of organization, practice, norm, and structure, particularly in university environment. Recent studies have shown that teacher orchestration enhance learning process and open new opportunity for technology enhance learning. I would be difficult to restrict instructor orchestration or solely in class tasks while using technology. Only a small portion of child learning normally take place in the classroom when teachers present. The higher education system of many nations have undergone significant change in the last 5 years, including the emergence of new type of institutions. Adjustment to financing and government practice, the establishment of mechanisms for evaluation and accreditation university, curricular reform, and technological advancement. However, not all areas of higher education are seeking in much change as others. Some colleges have made a point of preserve their costing good or ill. Education must be proactive in addressing the need the individual requiring to society. This challenge requires new innovative solution innovation, especially the require less traveling and global access in the process globalization. Moreover, it is recognized that are different type learning need created for competence determination. Socio-emotional competence is a big important for teacher, for student. Knowledge on self and other, the ability for a person to currently identify, recognize, and evaluate one other emotion, interesting and value their influence on behavior, accurate assessment of one and other strength and weaknesses, strength and limitation, possessing justified sense, self-confidence, and optimism, responsibility, understanding the obligation to judge ethical, safe, legal behaviors, self-management, self-regulation, the ability for person to regulate emotion, true and behavior in different situations, appreciate emotional expression, control expression, and management of one emotion in stressful situation, impulse control, presence even in situation when obstacles appear. Such personal goal, such personal goal and objective in learning and work dedicatedly and motivated and their realization monitors in progress in their realization help perseverance. Social awareness, ability to take another perspective, understanding the other position, other true and emotion, empathy with other from different background and culture, understanding social and ethical norm in behavior, tolerance toward in other and different respect difference is about one over national identity and identify of other, appreciate and respect individual and group difference, see difference and strength world the surround use, respect other, believing that other deserve. Gender equality, promote mental and physical health. Social skill, cooperation, civic activism, ability to establish and maintain healthy relationship with others, to communicate clearly and effectively, verbally and non-verbally. Know how in listen actively, wait for his turn, cooperate effectively, negotiate it, and resolve conflict constructively, respecting to need of the involved, ask for offer help, need is resistant, integrated external pressure, etc. Responsible decision making, to ability to analyze the situation, set goals, solve problems by making a decision, other considering all relevant factor, the ability to formulate agreement for possible decision and against possible decision with agreement presented, predict the possible consequence of decision made, evaluate the decision made and reflect, etc. Solving problem solving, the ability to search for the to establish new relationship and connection between the elements of the situation with the them being directly given. They cannot be reached by observation nor are they contained in the person early experience, but they are rich by insight. It deeply to ability deal with uncertain and insufficient, clear and efficiently structured situation, identify the problem, finding methods and technique for this successful situation. Solution, discipline, consideration, alternative, possibility, responsible, and goal-oriented, which include persistent overcome of obstacle, development of small-scale research skills. Critical thinking include strategy for selecting and evaluating information, evaluate reasoning, finding flow, recognizing incomplexities, error in the logic, certain idea, conclusion, claim, or theory, or to create a new complex existing. Creativity. Creativity ability to create new original and noteworthy idea for innovation. For innovation, program the world. Effective development, application, and meditation of new idea to other. Development initiative, creative initiative, promoting new idea, university and other idea. Information literacy. The term information literacy faced spread the mid-70s of the 20th century as expression of awareness that being overwhelmed by information and that is becoming uncontrollable. It became essential thing for citizens of 21st century. Most definition emphasize that being information literate means that a person must be able to recognize what information they need, determine possible source of information, of choose the best one. Information and communication technology literacy. Mastering information technology literacy skill and tools. There are many terms and denote the type literacy, computer or computer literacy, digital literacy. Most of the starting from elementary meaning of having the competence to work the computer, but with the modern technological development or network internet definition necessarily expanding from the use digital tool possessing communication skill and application. ETC literacy include information literacy, but always rate digital resources and technology, etc. Learning to learning mitigation, to ability to learn, presently to organize one learning, but individually and in a group, which including effective time information managing, self-regulated, autonomous, independent learning, which are necessary for personal and professional education. Responsible attitude toward work and obligation, entrepreneurship include this value and virtue and necessary for responsible and consistent performance of work, such diligence preservation work despite obstacle. Responsible attitude, caring for one health, to help other and development healthy lifestyle. Development is responsible attitude toward health and health of other, care about personal hygiene other, and the environment, nurturing, processing physical activity, development, uh, to pressure to consume tobacco, alcohol, intoxin, fostering health, safe environment. Contribution and finding United Nations Strategy Development Goal. It's also important to highlight the contribution or finding of this paper, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. It can analyze how the action of teaching and learning are going to impact the quality education. Sustainable development addressing quality equality education more explicitly. The global COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our way of life and introduced new challenges for higher education, our life. University must cope with element, finance, and student support consensus in addition and transition their campus lecture most interactive, much problem to support this perspective on education. There are several challenges related to the 20th century education system that need to be addressed by research. In majority of these studies, authors address two, three challenges, but this study considered these challenges as well list new challenge, but extract from informal interview with established educators. Future recommendation interesting of my conclusion. The global COVID-19 pandemic disrupts new challenge, higher education, our our life, our life. List new challenge that can extract from informal interview with established educator. Technology and social media advance significantly our traditional teaching methods in the 21st century, and students and modern are cannot to enhance traditional teaching method. In general, educating students in accordance perspective on education should result in generation of knowledgeable individuals, self-directed learners, effective communication, and globally truthful folk with capacity, very impressive field. Important question for all teacher and university professor. Do you university in the 20th century faced over the well-educated young people use as marketable product or free thinker free thinker, innovation thinker? Thank you very much for attention. Thank you for invitation, my lecture in your university and platform education. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. The way you just described this topic, the lecture you just delivered was full of wonderful content, great information, and knowledge you shared with our audience from around the globe. And what a great notes you have prepared, and the way you were explaining things were so nice. And I love so many phrases of you, and you one of your phrase I really love is the teacher new role is the facilitator, and this is how actually the new normal is, that we have to adopt this kind of mentality, and only then we can deliver in our 21st century. And I love the way you explain each and everything, that how it changed, how it evolved through the history of time, and then particularly 21st century. So all of the content was so great, so nice. The different C's which you described in your lecture was so nice, and I think 80% questions you have already addressed in your wonderful lecture because so many points you already highlighted and explained very well. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. And
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you very
Yeah.
much for intention. Education in the 21st century is very interesting in the world. In the world have much problem. No problem. Only education. Problem is food, climate change, war, Ukraine, Russia, problem.
Yes.
Problem food, water,
Yes. True.
big
True.
problem.
Prof,
The-
yeah. Now there is a question from our audience, and it's a very interesting question. They want to know your answer regarding the online professional development courses. That how do you see the role of online professional development courses, and what are the benefits of online courses for particularly teachers? I think. This question is very important for the teacher who want to conduct the online professional courses. So your answer to that, please.
yes, I implemented. Um, uh, I implemented new methods in innovation process with student. Uh, Student is is uh, is love, is rhetoric word is rhetoric word. No slide is presentation. No read, rhetoric, energetic professor and knowledge, new knowledge. I my student thinking, initiative, culture, energetic, thinker much, thinker much. I have student innovator. I love you, my student, all the world, all the world.
Yeah,
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Prof. And I think since you have already answered so many questions in your wonderful content, so and it's almost the time has come to end. Prof, at the end of the session, we ask our each guest regarding their message to the world. So, Prof, what is your message to the world as a speaker, author, teacher, researcher, trainer, learner, and
Yes.
professional? Yes, please.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, all team. Thank you, University Inventation Bakaria University in Islamabad, Pakistan. Thank you. I I love much Asia, people,
Thank you.
Asia.
Wow,
You
wonderful.
are
Thank you.
sensitive people. You are sensitive people. Sensitive.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
so much, Prof. And
yes.
really,
Culture sensitive, sensitive. Very interesting philosophy. Very interesting
yes,
philosophy. Yes. Thank you
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you
so
so
much.
much,
Thank
Prof.
you.
Yeah, thank you for your courtesy and thank you for your wonderful presentation and the powerful content which you shared with our audience. And to the audience that do follow our distinguished guest speaker through her research work, and you can email her for future learning and guidance. She is very generous and always ready to help the people. So
Thank
that's
you.
all we have time for today. And thank you once again, Professor Dr. Jelena Boskovic. And I would like to thank our audience who joined us around the globe. If you have any additional questions about information shared today, please email us or connect to the speaker directly. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. Until next session, take care of yourself.